As you can see, we're making cookies again. So this is my salted chocolate chip cookie. So what I've got here, I'm just getting started with some things. I should be more precise on this, but I'm not. That's what it is. Okay. In here we have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon, so I have to do this 4 times. And 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Oven's preheated. Welcome to New York. You can hear your neighbors all the time. These are my dry ingredients: all-purpose flour, baking soda, baking powder. I'm gonna sift these together, and we're just gonna set this aside. Shake that last little bit out. Oh, we're looking good. We're looking good. Now I bet you're wondering, wait, salt's a dry ingredient. You're absolutely right. We're going to go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, I know that that might not seem like very much compared to other cookie recipes, but that's because we're also doing salted butter. I have my dry ingredients here: flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. We're gonna set this off to the side. We're gonna go ahead and do our wet ingredients. 1 stick of salted butter. Typically I use unsalted butter, but one time I was baking at my mom's house and all she had on hand was salted butter. And first of all, I told her, get unsalted butter too, have an option. But I also decided, you know what, why not? Let's just go ahead and try the recipe. And they actually turned out better than my usual recipe. If you don't have the option to use something that you typically use, adjust. Back to it. So dry, wet, always mix them separately. It just makes your cookies better. It makes them come together a lot easier. Turn this bad boy on. Maybe. What's happening? Hold on. Is it gonna work over here? Now we're, as they say, cooking with gas, or in this case electricity. I don't know what's going on over there, but we're gonna go ahead and let this butter go. Finally. 1 stick of salted butter, that's what's in here. We're gonna put this on about medium speed, medium low. We're gonna let that work for about a minute or so and let that cream. And then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Brown sugar. Boom. Yeah, that was right. White sugar. All right. 1/2 cup. Ooh. Looks like a lot. That's okay. Okay. I'm gonna do a little scrape down. Check in with this. I'll clean it. We've been spending a lot of time at the beach this summer because what else is there to do? And this looks exactly like wet sand. I've gotten very acquainted with it. And I know some of you are thinking, New York City, there's beaches there? Ha ha ha, hardly. I know, I was saying the same thing. But actually, there are some really gorgeous beaches here, and they're not terribly far from where we live. I'm gonna go ahead and keep mixing this. So we'll let that butter and that sugar incorporate into one another. This is very similar to one of the other recipes I made, the Metro cookies. Metro cookies are more Joe's jam, my partner. This one's definitely my favorite. I could eat 1/2 of these in a night, and I might. Who knows? I'm gonna go ahead and slow it down, just to the lowest setting. All right, so crack an egg. I should be better at this, but we're good. Turn it back up a little bit. Okay. And then you're gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Recently I've been halving all my recipes because there just aren't enough of us eating them. I like to make sure that, you know, what I'm making is actually getting eaten. This is looking so beautiful. I mean, it is just I'm gonna show you. Look at how silky smooth So this is looking beautiful. The butter is room temperature. I did remember to take it out. Simple hack, if you forget to take your butter out before baking, just nuke it in the microwave for about 10 seconds and change your power level to about 6 or 7, and that'll get you right to that nice room temperature feel. Your sugars, your egg, tastes so good already, and your butter and your vanilla extract. That's all that's in here. So we're gonna turn the mixer back on low. We're gonna go ahead and add our dry ingredients into our wet. Go nice and slow. And we'll finish it off, add the rest. Great, move this out of the way. You have some options. I'm kind of holding this down because it's gonna move. I have done today half a cup of dark chocolate chips and about a half a cup of chopped milk chocolate. So I did the dark chocolate with the milk chocolate chunks because that's what I had on hand. If you have semi-sweet chocolate, I highly recommend that. They make these cookies really delicious. They complement the salt level really well. But I figured doing a little mix of dark and milk chocolate will be really great for these. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump these in. Just gonna turn this on low and let this mix for just maybe 10 seconds. Stop it. This looks so beautiful. Oh. We're gonna do one last little mix with our spatula. Okay. I think chocolate chip cookies are my favorite cookies. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know that they're traditional, I know that they're old school, but they're just so good. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is what it looks like. Really? Are you gonna say no to this? I'm gonna pop this in the refrigerator just for about 10 minutes, just to help solidify it a little bit, and then I'll check back in with you, okay? I'm waiting for the AC to turn off. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and take that cookie dough out of the refrigerator and check in on it. It's looking good, it's feeling good. It tastes really good. And that's really the only reason you're putting it in the fridge, in my opinion at least, is to let it firm up a little bit so that when you form it, it's gonna hold its shape nicely. We're in business. Speaking of shaping, guess what I got? I'm just gonna throw this away. And I said, no way. I'm taking it. If you saw my last video, you know that I really wanted one of these. It's just an ice cream scoop, but it works so well to make the perfect shape for cookies. This one's a little big, but that's okay. We're just gonna have larger cookies today. Get a good shape. Plop that bad boy down. I mean, hello. Another one. So this is gonna only yield about 12 cookies. Like I said, we're only doing a half batch, so that's okay. So these are gonna go in the oven, preheated at 370 degrees, and these are gonna cook for about 11 minutes. And while those are baking, let's prep the other ones. All right, we're good to go. And now we wait. Welcome back. So the timer just went off. While this first batch was baking, I did decide to go ahead and put the other batch into the refrigerator. Our apartment's feeling a little warm right now. It's definitely summer in the city. If you can't tell by the amount of sweat on my face, yes, I'm aware of it. I think they're ready. Ouch, ouch. Oops. A little warm, but that's great. I'm gonna let these sit. They are so hot, so please be careful. Okay, so the second batch is in the oven. The first batch is cooling right here. I have to tell you right now, the smell is unreal. It's just, I mean, if you look, the milk chocolate chunks are kind of melting. They're creating these little pools of chocolate in the cookie. I want to finish them with salt, but I almost think that maybe I shouldn't. I'm going to. Why not? They're salted chocolate chip cookies. I mean, come on. Now, if you want to learn more about salts, I highly recommend watching Samin Nosrat's documentary, little docu-series, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. I also recommend getting that cookbook. It has some of the best recipes in it, but it really just teaches you how to cook better, you know. She's just so brilliant and accessible. That's what I look for. I look for people who are educational but are also willing to connect with you and make you feel welcome and make you feel at home. Baking things like this, I would have never learned tricks like salting cookies at the end if it wasn't for people like Samin. Just people who understand food. I'm gonna go ahead and just transfer these to a cooling rack. It's taking everything in my power not to just bite into one of these right now, but they are so hot, it's not a good idea. They weigh so much. Now, of course, if you don't want to make giant cookies like this, you obviously just make your cookies a little smaller. What I would recommend is if you are going to make them smaller, I would do maybe about 10 minutes in the oven. If you wanted to make them smaller, I totally understand. These are kind of crazy big, but my gosh, do they look good.
Wow. What?
So while that second batch is finishing up, I think that I have to taste one of these. I'll wait. I wish I could just bottle this scent and send it to you, but you know what? What you should do is make this at home. I'll be sure to include the recipe in the description. If you do want to make them, but you're planning on having more people around, or if you're planning on going somewhere, go ahead and double the recipe. It's meant to be doubled. I always just have them because I can't have these around too much. I will eat every one of them. I'm gonna go ahead and let these cool. Bam! And sorry, Emerald, that was a bad bam. I have to taste one of these. I can't wait any longer. Just like, hi. Hello. Huge, gorgeous, perfect. The cookie itself is a nice golden brown. You can feel that it's got that nice gooey center. I mean, just, oh. See those dark chocolate chips? They hold their shape a little bit better because of the whatever. It's just darker, so they hold their shape better. Sorry, scientists out there, I don't actually know the science behind that. Oh my god. I mean, this is the kind of cookie that gets better with every bite. You got more of that chocolate, but then you get that really nice, almost bitterness from the salt, and that just complements that chocolate so well. No, I want that. I'm not gonna throw that. I don't have any other words. I literally don't know what else to tell you, besides you have to make these. These are literally the best cookies I've ever made. I swear to you, it's worth it. These are the best cookies you're gonna ever eat. I'm gonna finish this cookie the second I turn off the camera, and then I'm gonna eat another one. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll be doing as many baking videos as you guys let me, or as many as you want. Happy baking, everyone. I'm Andrew, and I'll see you soon.